Now joined from Istanbul by Hassan Ben. He's a member of the human rights group Law for Palestine. Thank you so much for joining us on the programme. So world leaders insist Israel has a right to defend itself. But is it abiding by international law in your opinion?
All right. So in international law, occupation is a natural state of wars. When two armies are clashing, usually one of them would defeat the other and would occupy the territory of the other country. So here, within this context, an occupation can be legal. However, in this situation right here, Israel has a prolonged that turned into an illegal occupation, according to a very strong and growing opinion within international law. And the ICJ opinion, which is supposed to come in a year from now, is very expected to reinforce this. So starting from the illegality of the Israeli occupation of the West Bank and Gaza, the Palestinian Authority, the occupation itself would represent an act of aggression or an unlawful use of force. Standing from here, Israel does not or cannot claim the right to self-defense from a territory it occupies, and not legally occupies it, but illegally occupies it. So Israel is in a state of aggression against the territories, the Palestinian territories it occupies. So international law cannot say something is illegal and then say the opposite is legal, the opposite is illegal, or the other way around. In this situation, Israel cannot invoke the right to self-defense. If it wants to invoke this right to self-defense, it will have to respect its obligation to retreat from the Palestinian occupied Palestinian territories, and then legally they can speak about a right to self-defense. Otherwise, how can you claim self-defense from a territory you occupy and you inhumanly treat its population?
So is there any role then that the UN or other actors like it can play to help manage this situation out of crisis?
Definitely, there is much that could be done through the UN and its agencies. However, in order for this to become possible, because Israel will block any humanitarian aid, will block any attempts or even to dispatch peacekeeping forces, for instance. So in order to have anything, to open the door for the UN to be able to do something on a humanitarian level or on a political level in Palestine, there has to be a way to make Israel abide with international law, with the UN resolutions, with the UN Security Council resolutions and the UN General Assembly resolutions, and the ICJ, the International Court of Justice resolutions. Israel has been breaking all of them. Israel has established an illegal siege on Gaza as a form of collective punishment and as a crime against humanity. This has been sustained. This has been established by many legal scholars and many UN bodies. Yet Israel did not seem to care much about these legal opinions and about the UN resolutions. And now Israel is taking a further step to suffocate whatever life that has remained in Gaza. No electricity, no water, no sewage system, no nothing, to the extent that we don't know how many people have been killed in Gaza because there is no reporting anymore. Today, journalists and UN agencies and other bodies have complained about the inability to report how many deaths and how many casualties we have in Gaza. So the number is like 1,000, around like the number is increasing right now. The number you're using is 1,400, but there is no way to verify the number is not the double of that, simply because there is no way of reporting, no electricity. The hospitals have been bombed. Some of them, some of the ambulances have been bombed. The hospitals are unable to connect with the outside world. So to come back to the bottom line, the UN has so much to do and can do so much. That's the very idea why we had the UN in this world. However, for the UN to do this, there has to be a serious stance towards Israel to make it implement the resolutions that have been there. Unfortunately, those who have so much resources and power to drive the wheel in a certain direction are taking the sides of Israel blindly, breaking international law, not respecting the fact that there is a whole population that is entitled to self-determination existing in Palestine, and now supplying them with arms to commit the war crimes and the crimes against humanity with their own weapons. And I'm talking here about the UK and the United States of America, who have supplied to the UK during today, the US from the second day.
OK, Hassan Ben Imran, thank you so much for your thoughts on the humanitarian aspect of this conflict so far. Thank you so much for joining us on the programme.